Okay guys, let's get back to our classes. This is class number 3, yes. We are continuing unit number 2, okay. Remember I mentioned to you that I was jumping to a specific exercise. Now I'm going back to these exercises and subjects that we missed from last class, okay. So what we are going to study is on page 17. So we are going to study in this part the comparative adjectives, superlative adjectives, and comparatives of equality, okay? I'm going to go very quickly through this, and then after that we're going to do some exercise. So to start here, comparative adjectives. First of all, adjectives, you know what is adjective, right? So we use it to compare two things and two people, right? That's important to remember, that we are going to compare two things, objects, and two people, okay? And we can divide it in two parts. We have the ones that are short adjectives, and we have the ones that are long adjectives. Why do I need to have these two separated? Because depending on the size, the syllable, we have to use or ER to represent more, or the word more, okay? So the short adjective, the small ones, we need to use this to complement the adjective, to say that is more about something, okay? So one syllable adjective, for example, old, we add ER. How do I know it's one syllable adjective? By doing pronunciation. You have to speak the word to check it, because sometimes it looks like, I'm going to say like, for example, the word nice, it looks two syllable, but it's actually one, because the last syllable has no sound, has no vibration of your cord, vocal cords, okay? So it's important to pronounce it, to say the word, to know that if it's one syllable, two or more, okay? So one syllable adjective, we know that we are going to use ER in the adjective. We also have two syllables ending in Y, but only the ones that end in Y, okay? For example, the word happy, we say happier, not more happy, right? We say happier. Right, I gave you here one example. My sister is younger than me. You see that here we have ER in the adjective. This is one syllable. And then we have this word here, than, to compare two things or two people. In this case, I'm comparing my sister and me. Okay? So remember, adjectives are the ones that we compare two things or two people, right? We have also some variation. The variation are exceptions. For example, adjectives ending in E, the word nice. We don't need to add an extra E, we just need to add R, okay? So I don't need to have two E's in the word. The CVC rule, consonant, vowel, consonant. The word big, for example, you double the last consonant and then add ER, okay? And then words ending in Y, lucky, for example, yes. We have to take out, yes, remove Y and add I and then ER, right? And then it becomes a comparative word, okay? So I use comparative to compare, again, two things and two people. Right? I'm insisting in this because then we're going to see superlative and then you see the difference between them. Right. We also, as I mentioned, we have long adjectives that we use the word more to compare. So two syllables or more. So remember, two syllable that not includes the one with Y. Okay? So remember, two syllable without words with Y. So example here, I'm more intelligent than my sister, right? So the word intelligent, it's 2 syllables or more, yes? So it's a long one, that's why it's a long adjective, and that's the reason I use more in front of the adjective word, okay? Again, I'm comparing me and my sister with the word then, right? Very simple, this one. I don't think we will have problems with this one. We also have in English, you know, English has some irregularities. We have irregular adjectives. I put here good, bad, and far. And for comparative is these ones. The word good becomes better. For comparative, the word bad becomes worse. And the word far becomes further with a or further with you, right? You have 2 spelling, both are okay, both are correct, okay? Very nice. Okay, comparative is this one here. Okay guys, now we are talking about superlative adjectives. We use it to compare one thing or one people to a group. Remember, comparative adjectives we use to compare 2 things and 2 people. This one, I compare one to the rest of the group. I give here an example. They are the luckiest people I know. They are the luckiest people I know. I know a lot of people, but these are the ones that I know that are the luckiest. So in comparison to the other, I think they are the luckiest people. So I'm comparing these people with the rest. That's why I compare one idea with the others, all right? And also have short and long adjectives. Short adjectives, now I don't use ER, but I'm going to use this one here, EST, the. And I also have the, which is the article. And this article is very important because I'm saying that this is the one, yes? The luckiest, the one. It's very similar, 1 syllable, to know that I'm going to use EST, the old, for example, the oldest with EST. 2 syllable, the word happy, the happiest. So 2 syllable with Y, remember, yes, always with the word Y here, right? And we also have the long adjectives. Long adjectives, very similar to the comparative form. So long adjectives. Now I'm going to use this word here, most, right? So the most, 2 syllable without Y or more, right? So 2 syllable or more, I'm going to use the most. For example here, they are the most intelligent people I know. I've used the same adjective here, intelligent, right? It's a big one, so I'm going to use the most, right? I know a lot of people, but these one here are the most intelligent, right? I'm comparing one to the rest of the group, all right? We also have variation, very similar to the comparative form, adjectives that end in E. We only add EST. Of course, we also have this article in front, yes, the, right? So the nicest. CVC rule, big, double the G, CVC, double the last one, and add EST, so the biggest. And words ending with Y, the word lucky, for example, yes, then I'm going to replace that Y for using I here and add EST. And remember always to use the article in the superlative form, okay? So, repeating here again, so comparative, we compare 2 things or 2 people. Superlative, I compare one to the rest of the group, okay? You have some exercises in your book. You can pause the video and you can do the exercises anytime you feel comfortable to do it. Repeat the video, send me a message if you have any questions about this part here. The last one of the comparative is the one that's called equality. The name says equality because we use it to compare equal characteristics, okay? And for that, I'm going to use these 2 words, as, and then the adjective, and again the word as, all right? We have two forms, the positive and the negative. Where do you see the positive and the negative? In here, in the verb. Here we have positive and here we have negative. So Paul is as good as his brother. You see that I'm using here good as an adjective. And different from comparative and superlative, here the adjective will not suffer any change. I'm not changing anything here in the adjective, right? So any adjective that I'm using here will be exactly the same way as it is, all right? So as good as bad as nice as intelligent as, or any adjective will be exactly the same way as it is. And I'm comparing here Paul and his brother. All right, and in the negative form, I'm just changing the format here of positive to negative. Paul isn't as good, again, the same idea, the adjective, as it is, as good as his brother. This one is really simple to use it because I don't need to be thinking about short or long adjectives, and then I just use the way it is. This is all for the comparative parts. You have exercise on page 17 to do. I'm gonna also leave some exercises in our Google Classroom. You also have exercises in your workbook related to that, page 97, okay? So you have some activities to do. I can see that some people are doing the activities that I posted there, so please do it. It's important, keep studying, and I'll see you next class, okay? Bye-bye.